I'm gonna come up to him, put your elbows forward as much as possible. And I'm gonna grab the bar behind him, but I'm gonna put his elbows under my elbows. It's like this or like this. Does that make sense? This, you gotta jump to. You're not catching that. This, it's way closer and easier to turn over. Make sense? Hold it here, no legs, nothing. Elbows high, turn over, right? And then it'll eventually be one move. And you can open. Elbows high. Reverse curling it. Here you go, elbows, then turn over. And you put it on your knees. And you essentially want to push your knee down and it'll loosen up your ankle a bit. You should feel a stretch in your ankle. And you want to keep your heel on the ground. Power clean, again, you catch it above 90 degrees. When I say by 90 degrees is, I mean the bend in your knee. So this is above 90 degrees. This is below 90 degrees. Yeah, elbows up, chest big, right? Same way you caught it, like it was good. But then you just go down and down and down. So, use your plateauing. Usually you're not eating enough, sleeping enough, or doing the proper work. So if you're not sleeping 8 to 10 hours a day, that might seem like a lot, but that's optimal. If you're not eating, I don't know, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, at least. If you're not eating probably like 1.5 grams of carbs per pound of body weight, you're probably not going to get stronger, right? Like football guys doing a lot of running, a lot of sprints, I imagine, conditioning. Yeah. You want to eat a lot of carbs, right? And then also to build muscle, you want to eat a lot of protein. You're not going to get stronger or push through a plateau eating 1 chicken breast a day. Right? We all have a certain amount of time in the day, right? And when you start wanting to do extraordinary things, it requires an extraordinary amount of effort. And actually, a few years ago, good example is screen time on your phone, right? Like during COVID, I'm sure everyone's screen time went through the roof. Mine personally went from like 3 hours to like 5 or 6 hours a day, right? It was brutal. And then I remember looking at that being like, man, that's 6 hours, 5 hours a day that I'm scrolling through nonsense that I can't even remember of what it was after I put the phone down. It's not like you scroll and you're like, wow, I'm really glad I did that. Like I'm feeling good about all that bullshit I watched, right? Same thing when you're laying in bed before, right? But I actually want to start reading. I really admired people who enjoyed reading. I wanted to enjoy reading. And I admired the people that were readers, that were like, yeah, I want to read a book. So I thought, I'm going to cut down 2 hours a day off my screen time and just start reading books. And then I ended up reading 52 books that year, a book a week, when before I would read like 1 book every 2 years. So like, to go back to the question of, do you think like the little things add up? Yes, absolutely. Rest helped. And then there's this guy, his name's Andy. And he was asked about burnout, but he basically said burnout's fake. Like, people get burnt out because they stop taking pride in what they do. They lose their mission. They lose themselves. They lose their oomph. I've been saying it tonight. You got to have some oomph when you're cleaning, right? They lose their oomph. And then I thought, anytime I felt burnt out, I've been in one of those things, right? I felt like, oh, I don't know if I really want to do this, or, oh, I don't know if I feel like doing this, or I don't know. But it's like, you kind of just got to get back to remembering why you do it, remembering the passion, right? Like, why are you in school? What do you want to do after school? Yeah, exactly. That's sick, right? So if you want to be a doctor, you got to go through, you're an undergrad? Yeah? Man, you got like another 10 years of school ahead of you, right? So if you're feeling burnt out now, like, you got to really remember why you're doing it, and like, reignite the passion as much as possible, right? Exactly. And also, like, this is what you asked for. Like, it's going to be hard. Like, this is what the hard part feels like. Hard things are hard to do, and this is what hard feels like. I don't know. It's a good question. I think it was, honestly, it's been the Olympic qualification. My goal is to go to Paris this coming summer, and I was not eligible because I couldn't stay qualified. The qualification process is like super demanding. Basically, you have to fly somewhere internationally and compete every 6 to 8 weeks, and you have to do better each time. And when you're 31, that's a little more difficult than when I was 26 doing it before. So that was hard, just physically and mentally, staying in it. But it always brought me back to, like, you asked for this, right? This is what hard feels like. You want to do something extraordinary, it's going to take an extraordinary amount of effort. You can't be extraordinary with an ordinary amount of effort. I was told this by a nutritionist I worked with when I was prepping for the combines. She worked with Team Canada hockey and Team Canada cycling, I believe, but Olympic level. And she said you want 8 hours of sleep minimum. And I think it was either 1 hour or half an hour, but one of the two, for every additional hour of exercise you do. So let's say it's half an hour. If you do 2 hours in the weight room, you want to sleep for 9 hours that night, 8 plus the 2:30s. If it's an hour, it might be an hour. It's 8 hours plus 2 hours, you want 10 hours, right? That seems crazy, right? It seems like a lot of sleep based on maybe a morning run and then a lift and then a practice, right? That's where naps come into play. Like, if you manage your time correctly, you can get the rest you need while being a student. Yeah. But recovery, man, sleep. Sleep is the best thing. Go to bed at 9. You don't need to be up till midnight. And chances are, if you're studying, you're not going to be that much more productive for another 2 hours at 10 p.m.